Hello. So I just came from a nice walk. It's about one something past 1:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, and it is a privilege to be coming to you between a combination of listening to me, whatever sense I can make to you on this topic, and a little bit of classical music to chill your nerves. And also, this is my way of reaching out to you, giving value to you that has nothing to do with money. As you know, I am passionate about what I do, and I'm passionate about helping people. I am passionate about a lot of things. But my favorite passion is classical music because it is a huge part of my life for therapy. Anyway, so I have the privilege of sharing with you a topic that, first of all, the topic come to mind as a result of the Surgeon General was on CNN talking about a very dangerous health crisis, a silent health crisis that is affecting many millions of people. And I think we have not necessarily been able to, or perhaps I'm not aware of any study that talks about the post-pandemic coping mechanism for this topic of loneliness. By the way, loneliness does not necessarily affect only people who live alone, single, elderly, due to bereavement, divorce, or abandonment, that becomes basically alone and have to take care for themselves. Not to mention, there's a whole issue of the price of loneliness. Not too long ago, 2 days ago, I heard someone talked about how what's called a singles tax in certain region, like, first of all, if you're in the Northeast, the singles tax is higher because the cost of living here, especially in New York, that as a single person, as an elderly living alone, as a retiree who happen to be a solo habitant, and if they don't own a house, but they have equity, they pay, well, the cost, the economic cost of loneliness is higher for singles than people who have roommates, or people who are cohabitant in a house, who are not necessarily married but living together, or married but basically roommates because due to, if they have kids, they stay together for the kids. But anyway, we're not gonna go there. But so loneliness can affect someone, and you could be married and lonely because people change over time. And if you and your partner are not really do not have any rapport, or constantly generating activities where you build equity in your relationship, just like you build equity in a house. You gotta do things together, like Covey calls deposits. Every activity that you do together, and that, that's a deposit, and any potential headaches or issue, conflict, that's a withdrawal. And so the success of your relationship depends solely on the number of deposits that you have, and every deposit means that you have greater equity for withdrawal. So in a given day, you have more deposits, meaning that you spend more quality time together, whether you go to musical, play a game together, spend quality time, put the electronics away, so you can have quality one-on-one conversations, not arguments or talking about bills, but conversation where you're exchanging dialogues, or where you watch a movie together, talk about it, read a book together, talking about it. In a case where you have, older adults who are caring for their parents, aging parents, caretakers who are lonely because they sacrifice social activities that bring them joy in order to take care of elderly ones. That in itself can create loneliness, and does create a certain degree of loneliness. And recently newlywed who just happen to have their first kids. Well, that little bundle of joy that makes you laugh, and that takes away the 9 months pain of all the preparation. All of a sudden, you get this little thing that 100% depend on you. First of all, you no longer matter for the next 2 years, in a sense that you do matter, but you are no longer priority number one. That little bundle of joy, who might occasionally smile after a few months, requires every second of your time, and you're not used to that. Your friends are out having fun, and you are taking care of little Johnny or little Susie. That can be lonely. And you moved into a new state, and you don't have any friends. That is a recipe for loneliness. Unless you were like a social butterfly, you are going to be lonely. You moved into a country, immigrate legally or not, to a country you don't know the custom, the people, the culture, the language. You are definitely lonely. You are a professional. You used to be, doctor, so, engineer, so, attorney, so and so, and next thing you know, you move into a country where your education becomes, invalid. Great that you have it, but you cannot practice because you gotta reschool yourself in order for you to practice at the same capacity. Not to mention the language barrier that you have to overcome in order to do so, and all at the same time. You got to take care of yourself if you are not surrounded by family who will take care of you, which is very unlikely. So you can have. I'm talking about various degrees of loneliness. You have economic loneliness, you have intellectual loneliness, you have family, you have personal, relational, marital. Loneliness can come in so many different facets, and then if you're like an introvert type and you don't make friends easily, and you moving to a new town, first of all, you're already an introvert, so it's hard for you to meet people, and you can be isolated very fast. And if you happen to live in New England, where we have like winter time, and you're basically sit at home all day after work, watching TV, in and out, sports, TV shows, soap operas. I don't have to give you any additional ways that loneliness can creep in. All right, and so here's the thing. So in the black community, whenever a black person achieves a certain degree of excellence, and they first of all, they get your education, and then they happen to be the first of their kind, the first in their social race to achieve a certain position and authority, either in the corporation or in government, and you got there. But that's also a very lonely position, because you are the first. That means the burden of that entire race is on you to not mess up. That is a very lonely place. Well, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so is the president of X, school, or a senator, a congressman or woman. That is a very lonely place. From childhood, people that we grew up together, and all of a sudden you achieved, and imagine going to a reunion, and you achieve X, and then the schoolmates around you, barely get anything, barely get anything accomplished in life, and you like, what the heck are you going to talk about? You can no longer talk about the past. unless you were like really joint at the hip in terms of friendships, you're not gonna have anything to talk about. You don't even have the same vocabulary. There's nothing to talk about other than hi John, hi hi Jason, but oh yeah, I've heard you. It's not gonna happen, right? So loneliness can creep in so many different ways, and it comes in so many different levels. That's something to talk about, and obviously, if any social problem, there is a corresponding economic cost to it. You live alone, you're widow, abandoned, or you're successful, you've achieved, but you're lonely because you don't have anyone to share with your wealth with. So I'm going to be focusing on this topic a lot. Right now I'm driving home, and instead of listening to my typical motivational CDs or listen to some classical music, while I need to center my thoughts around this topic so I can create more content, and also to help to get people talking about the subject, which is the therapeutic in itself. So in the case in my case, how do I deal with this issue? Well, in the afternoon, I don't have much really that I'm doing, and I don't have if I don't have an occasional call come in for someone who wants to explain something, or someone who wants to have a Zoom meeting for business, I have several things I could schedule myself. The gym that I need to register and actually go, do practice my cello, a little bit of piano, cello, painting, so I could fill my time. And all those things are solitary things that I love to do, but not my average friends like doing those things. I promised myself I would go to as many live symphony as much as possible. Good luck finding some of my friends who actually love those things. It's almost zero. If it is, I gotta bribe them to come. Come to symphony with me. I don't want to go alone this time, because I happen to be available and I wanna participate in those things. But not everyone appreciate it. If only they know the benefit of it. Anyways, I don't have to give you any additional examples. This topic is very important to talk about. So I've given you some ideas. You can look at your present life circumstances and really write down and journal a little bit. How does loneliness creep into my life, and what am I doing about it to address it? Okay, now the idea is to grab someone, your best friends, to talk about the subject, to talk about the topic of loneliness, and because that's exactly what's missing. Dialogue, not texting or emailing, actual FaceTiming a live person, or call someone, or better yet, even better, put aside your phone, okay, and then actually connect with the person, or volunteer your time to help someone in need, which also helps to put life into perspective. If you think you have issues, there are people with greater issues. Anyways, I'm very thankful for this opportunity to create a series of small videos to talk about this issue. And there are many ways you can avoid, you solve the issue of loneliness. First of all, awareness of the topic is one. And addressing it is that you gotta find ways to engage other people, meet new people, and reconnect with old friends. Put aside all differences, because for the sake of your mental health, be the first to apologize for wrongdoing of the past. It's not worth the psychological damage that it's doing to you and the potential loved ones or friends, co-worker, family member that you have an issue with in the past that didn't go well. And any instance of holding on to that grudge is contributing to your isolation, and you're not talking to that individual, whether it's a family member, a former co-worker, or a business partner, a colleague, a church member. You know, the sooner you can get it off your chest and forget about it for your own mental health. You know, clear out the garbage in your own psyche, so that way you can make room for new things, hobbies, a new music to discover, a new movie or a new hobby you can learn, a new language, and engage other people in the process. Until next time.